Concern among firefighters nationwide about a potential on-the-job hazard that they say they face. Cancer is already the leading cause of death among firefighters, and there's a fresh theory about why. We spoke with some 44 firefighters who filed lawsuits this week alleging that the gear they wear, designed to protect them from fires, is also making them sick. Many in the firefighting community believe that toxins are not only present in the fires themselves, the old theory, but also in their so-called turnout gear. The lawsuits claim chemicals used to make that gear flame, water, and oil resistant carry a hidden danger that can cause devastating illness.
This is a current set of turnout gear that I would wear if I was working at the firehouse.
Veteran Brockton, Massachusetts firefighter Joe Marchetti wore gear like this on almost every call for years.
This set of gear is actually made so that we can have a harness inside.
Rising through the ranks to become deputy chief of his department.
To see it say Brockton deputy's got to give you a sense of pride.
It took a lot of hard work.
But now he won't let this iconic symbol of the job, once worn as almost a second skin, make it past the garage.
I won't bring it into my house with what we know about the turnout gear now and the chemicals that are in it.
In 2016, at the age of 46, Marchetti was diagnosed with prostate cancer, a diagnosis he alleges was caused by exposure to chemicals in that gear, chemicals known as PFAS, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Last year, a blood test revealed Marchetti's PFAS levels were significantly elevated above the general population.
These chemicals have been known to cause harm for a long time. And this gear was being supplied to us to protect us.
PFAS are a group of artificial compounds that make pans non-stick and materials waterproof or fire retardant, among other things. But new lawsuits also claim they're associated with adverse health effects, including cancer in the protective gear worn by firefighters.
They're called the forever chemicals. And once we manufacture some of them, they last forever. They just migrate through different systems. If they're inhaled or ingested by humans, they'll end up in your body, and they'll stay there for many years.
University of Notre Dame physics professor Graham Peasley had already been studying the presence of PFAS in the environment when the wife of another firefighter with prostate cancer convinced him to take a look at the turnout gear.
So this is where the beam particles will come out of the accelerator.
At the nuclear research lab on campus, his team analyzed 30 different sets of protective gear, noting an outer shell, a moisture barrier, and a thermal liner.
We observe the PFAS, they're at high quantities, and they come off. The outer layer of this gear was really highly fluorinated, and the moisture barrier was really highly fluorinated.
And that's bad.
That's bad.
Subsequent studies, co-authored by Peasley, confirm the presence of PFAS in other turnout gear. His research has been cited in the lawsuits. Meanwhile, the firefighting community is grappling with staggering rates of cancer. Since 2015, nearly 3 out of 4 firefighters added to the IAFF Fallen Firefighter Memorial have died from so-called occupational cancer. Even more have been diagnosed.
I was kind of hit like a Mack truck.
Mark Stelling, a fire captain for the city of Gilroy, California, found out he had stage 1 cancer after an accident caused a tumor on his kidney to burst.
When I was laid out in that hospital bed for 8 days, that was belittling to me because I thought of myself as a pretty tough guy. But laying there helpless, trying to figure out what was going on, that was a whole nother game.
Retired San Jose, California fire investigator Teresa Malden battled multiple cancers.
I had breast cancer in both breasts. I had a double mastectomy, and then the 4th year, the bladder cancer reoccurred. So for 4 years, I battled, and I just couldn't stay on the job.
All 3 of you are cancer-free as we speak?
No.
And retired San Jose fire captain Dan Stapp has undergone radiation and hormone therapy for prostate cancer.
From what I understand is it's just going to be there, and just depends how aggressive we take care of it and how aggressive the cancer itself gets.
All 3 believe they would have been cancer-free if not for their uniforms. They joined a lawsuit in 2020 alleging that PFAS in their gear caused their illnesses. They're seeking damages from companies that make PFAS and manufacture turnout gear.
What part of your brain, if any part, was considering the risk of the gear you were wearing?
0.
Nothing, never.
Your gear was almost attached to your hip. Our training and everything else was, okay, you're going to go do dangerous stuff. You're going to do the best to protect yourself. Put this gear on and go do it.
It was so ingrained in us. It was a safety thing. This was the thing that I wore. It was the thing that I let my daughter dress up in because she wanted to look like Mom.
Would you recommend this line of work for your children and grandchildren?
I steered my daughter away from it. You don't want your kids to go through this.
Seems like it was a hard conversation to have.
Still is. You know, your kids look up to you. They thought I was invincible.
This is my son.
As for Marchetti, he married into a firefighting family, so it was only natural that his son would follow. You are the wife of a firefighter, the daughter of a firefighter, the granddaughter of a firefighter,
and the mother.
Marchetti's wife, Jen, has always known that there were risks associated with the profession.
It's a dangerous job, and you know that. To know that his gear that's meant to protect him and keep him from harm harmed him and changed him, it makes me, it makes me angry. It makes me angry. And it could potentially change my other family members.
Your son.
My son. I can't even fathom it.
Marchetti joins dozens of firefighters in new lawsuits also seeking damages from PFAS makers and turnout manufacturers. After surgery to remove his prostate, he is cancer-free, but side effects from the operation are forcing him to retire 8 years early. What kind of loss is that?
It's 8 years that I don't get to spend with my brothers in the firehouse. 8 years that I don't get to share this experience with my son. There's a lot to miss.
So this is a high-stakes conversation, and there's some big accusations in those lawsuits, so we've got a lot to say about them. The lawsuits on behalf of the firefighters are very wide-ranging and far-reaching. The plaintiffs, that would be the firefighters, don't put any blame on the fire departments that they served. But in addition to the companies that make PFAS and manufacture turnout gear, the lawsuits name as defendants the makers of firefighting foam, another tool of the trade. Foam helps firefighters contain the fires. It also contains PFAS. All these defendants have denied wrongdoing, and they say that the weight, these are the manufacturers and the makers of the chemicals, they say the weight of the scientific evidence does not show PFAS in their products cause harm in people at current levels or past levels, and they say that includes cancer. And they add that their products are safe, meet or exceed the applicable industry standards, and enable firefighters to do their jobs safely and effectively. But clearly, in the firefighting community, there is a change in thinking about this gear. For a long time, you wore it like all the time. You'd take it, you'd wear it into the firehouse even. And now they realize, well, the soot could be cancerous. And now the thinking has gone beyond that and said, well, the gear itself may actually be a problem.
Is there discrepancy over who is measuring these tests that determine cancer, no cancer?
The measurements are really solid now. The question is the effect. And that's being worked out.
You know, we've always thought that firefighters are superheroes, which they are, but it's almost like their superhero uniform was lined with kryptonite.
Yeah, that's the accusation, and that's what's so devious and hard to wrap your head around, is like, wow, the thing meant to protect them may have been hurting them. If that is conclusive, I think that, everyone's rooting for a change for the next generation.